In this video, I'm going to talk you through the best practices for Facebook ads, and I guarantee if you put into place the very simple points I'm going to go through in this video, you will be setting yourself up for success with Facebook ads. Now, all of the points I'm about to cover are very easy to implement. In fact, Facebook even pushes you towards making these decisions. But from all of my experience auditing huge ad accounts, I see this is rarely the case, and most people don't implement any of these best practices, let alone all of them combined. The general point behind all of these 5 best practices is to let Facebook do the heavy lifting. Facebook's main advantage comes in its machine learning. It can learn your ideal customer and put your ads in front of those people to bring you the highest chance of success, but it can only do that if it's allowed to do that. So these best practices give the power to Facebook because Facebook is there to help you despite what a lot of people think. So the first best practice for Facebook ads is to utilize dynamic ads. Dynamic ads are a type of ad you can create when building out an ad campaign, and it allows you to upload a series of different creatives, different headlines, different body copies, different calls to actions. And what Facebook will do is it will vary those. So it will take ad creative number 1 with headline number 3, and it will test that. And it will do that in loads of different combinations, and it will learn which combinations are the best for your target audience. Now, obviously you have to put in that variety to Facebook, but what you're doing is you're giving Facebook the power to test all the combinations for you and find the winners, making your life way easier and making the ads that are going out to people way more effective. Once your campaign's been running for a while, you can break down performance based on the different headlines and creatives and everything like that, so you can see what the best performing ones are. Obviously you want to double down on the better performing ads, but this gives you firstly the best data you're going to find, and secondly it allows you to skip all the work of having to manually figure out which are the best combinations. The next step is to simplify your ad account. Most of the time when I go into ad accounts, I see hundreds of different campaigns, within those campaigns hundreds of different ad sets, and within those ad sets hundreds of different ads. It's impossible to wrap your head around. Now, the first disadvantage of a complicated ad account is it's complex for you yourself. Going into the ad account, trying to see what works, what doesn't, and just manage the whole thing, it becomes very cumbersome. But it also doesn't help Facebook. For Facebook, you want to keep things simple. So let's say you have a fresh account. The ideal setup would be very simplified. You would have 2 campaigns, one for cold, one for remarketing, for warm. Within the cold campaign, you would have 3 different ad sets, testing different audiences, and within each ad set you would have 1 dynamic ad. That is insanely simple to firstly keep track of, and secondly it's simple for Facebook. Facebook understands what's going on. So I really hope you're enjoying this video so far. If you are, I would genuinely really appreciate it if you could leave a like or subscribe. Obviously you don't have to. Also, I appreciate a lot of these things. You want to educate yourself around advertising, but sometimes you just feel a bit overwhelmed or you just want someone else to do it for you. If that's the case, then my company might be able to help. We have consultation services and done for you services for Facebook advertising and LinkedIn advertising, all B2B. There is a link in the description below for a free growth strategy session. You get my time entirely for free, only available to select companies, those companies that are ready to scale. Anyway, you can apply for that below if you would like. Don't have to, but let's continue with best practices. So next up is campaign budget optimization. When you're starting out on a cold campaign, I would strongly recommend using campaign budget optimization. What campaign budget optimization does is it allows you to set the ad spend at campaign level instead of ad set level. So if you have, as I previously described, 1 campaign, and then within that campaign you have 3 different audiences and you're testing those different audiences against each other, campaign budget optimization allows Facebook to spend on whichever audience is performing best. So it takes out the manual work, saving you time. Also, Facebook is more likely to make good decisions in terms of that, and basically makes your life way easier and makes sure your ad spend is spent more efficiently. Next up is automatic placements. This is part of the Facebook Power 5, however, I would recommend a slight change. Facebook recommends allowing it to completely determine where your ads are placed. I recommend turning this off, but enable most places, just disable the audience network, because when it goes off Facebook, the data starts to become a bit more iffy and you start to be at risk of more bots clicking your ads, just skewed numbers. So turn off the audience network, but other than that, enable all placements because you never know what's going to perform best for your audience and your offer. Next up is auto advanced matching. Facebook performs the best when it's given back as much information as possible as to people who are going to convert on your offer. So people who submit a lead form, people who go onto your website and book in for a demo or whatever that may be. Provided you can tell Facebook as much information about those successful actions, it will then optimize and over time get better because it will learn these are the people I need to put the ads in front of. The issue has come with changes in privacy policies, iOS updates, etc., whereby everyone used to use the Facebook pixel to get that information back into Facebook, but now it's not as effective. So how do you get around this? Well, the new practice is one of two things. The one I'd recommend because it's a lot easier, especially for B2B, is to use lead forms. This is inherent to Facebook, so everything's on the platform and therefore Facebook can tell someone's submitted the lead form and it's an immediate feedback loop. There's no additional steps. That is, in my opinion, the best option. Additionally, as an advanced point with lead forms, you can use lead filtering, so you can even filter out quality leads to improve that feedback cycle even more. But let's say you are sending someone off onto a website because you don't have the option of utilizing a lead form. That's fine. If you do, instead of relying just on your pixel, you want to set up an API conversion. Now, an API conversion is a way of bypassing all the privacy features. Let's say someone submits a form and types in their name, email address, telephone number. You can then use a Zapier connection, or you can go more advanced and use Google Analytics connections. I always go with Zapier, again, because it's easier. You can use a Zapier connection to send information from that form or whatever that action is back into Facebook. If you start doing that, again, you start to tell Facebook what the successful actions are, and therefore you improve the performance of your campaigns. Obviously, this works better at scale. Now, in a second, I'm going to run you through everything I've just talked about in a nice little package to make sure it's cemented in your brain. But before that, as I say, if you could leave a like or subscribe, I would genuinely appreciate it. And also, my company, Tech Growth Marketing, are currently giving away free growth strategy sessions where I myself personally will take a look at your exact situation and give you advice on what you need to do to run an ad campaign to grow your company. It's only available to companies that are ready to scale. If you're just starting out, this is not for you, but you can apply for that call via a link in the description below. Finally, if you have any questions or you just want to see something, maybe a type of video, leave a comment below and I will personally, again, get back to you and reply to your comment. So a quick summary. The Facebook Power 5 is your shortcut to more leads with less time spent in your ad account and more effective return on your ad investment. Firstly, you want to use dynamic ads so Facebook can determine what the best ads are for your audience. Next up, you want to simplify your campaign. An example of this would be one campaign for cold, one for warm. Within the cold campaign, you would have 3 ad sets, testing a different audience in each, and 1 dynamic ad per ad set. Next up, when you start to run campaigns, use campaign budget optimization so Facebook can find the best audience for your offer that will bring you the best results. Then when setting up delivery, you want to enable all placements except for the audience network. And finally, you want to feed back as much information about successful actions to Facebook as possible. And the best ways to do this are either by utilizing lead forms, which are inherent to the ad platform itself, or you want to utilize API conversions to bypass any privacy issues, iOS changes, blah, 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 that are currently becoming an issue. If you do all those things, you will see improvements in terms of delivery of ads and the performance of your campaigns. Thanks for watching. Really hope you've enjoyed this, and I will speak to you soon.